Hello, hello, hello to all of my Geminis and Virgos. This is going to be a joint reading for you both because Mercury is going retrograde on tomorrow. So I wanted to provide a reading, a special reading for you both, a combined special reading for you both, just to offer you some hope. But first of all, let's share what we know about our Virgos and Geminis. Okay, because they have some pretty I know both. Well, I know someone from every astrological sign. So let me first start out by saying thank you so much for joining me. This is Queen Amun Ra coming to you with a special retrograde reading, specifically Mercury in retrograde. The planets, the astrological signs that are affected the most by Mercury being in retrograde is Gemini and Virgo. So this is a joint reading for Gemini and Virgo to offer you guys some hope. So what do we know about Geminis and Virgos? Okay, so Geminis are very flexible. They're very outgoing. They're very funny. They're very enthusiastic. They're also very smart, and they're very versatile, however you pronounce it. The Virgo is very intelligent, very analytical, very honest, very reliable, and they're also perfectionist. Okay. The thing about the planets being in retrograde, and I'm going to explain this in greater detail in a few minutes. The thing about the planets being in retrograde is like whatever you've been promised for my Virgo and Geminis with Mercury being in retrograde, keep in mind that those things are coming. You know, those things are coming. They may be coming at a slower pace, but they're coming. So with Mercury going retrograde on tomorrow, the focus is on like mistakes and misunderstandings, problems in communication and transportation. There could be a lot of things going on. Now, Mercury will be in retrograde Mercury is only in retrograde for about 3 weeks. So according to the research that I've done, Mercury is actually in retrograde until July 12th. So it's not going to last for too long, okay? But during that time, just know for my my Gemini and Virgos, there could be some miscommunication or some problems with communication. There could be some misunderstandings with some people. And this is for my Gemini and Virgos, Sun, Moon, rising in Venus. Okay. So this could very, very well apply, you know, to you. So if some of those things start to happen where people are kind of misunderstanding some things that you said, or people are, there's some miscommunication somewhere, some kind of some friction or static or whatever, just know that Mercury being in retrograde actually affects you the most. It is not a time to sign contracts or to buy items or even begin new projects. Okay. It's an excellent time to start planning and start doing some research, and then also preparing for some things that you've been promised that's going to happen for you. Again, Mercury being in retrograde won't be in retrograde for long. 3 weeks, that's not a long time for you to start like really, really planning and thinking about some things, and also to continue remaining vibrating at a higher frequency, because that's what this reading is about. Planets being in retrograde sometimes give an illusion that things are not going to happen for you. The things that were promised to you are not going to happen, but know that they are going to happen. So don't be confused by the illusion that it's not going to happen, because it is going to happen for you. It's just happening at a slower pace. And I'm kind of actually giving you a heads up with like the misunderstandings and the miscommunication, and you could even have some issues with your transportation, whether it be your car or, you know, the family car or whatever, or getting to and from, you know, somewhere. But let me explain to you in detail what the word retrograde means as it relates to planets. It's the apparent backward motion of a planet traveling through the zodiac. The sun and moon are never retrograde. In reality, planets in our solar system do not move backward in their orbits. They only seem to do so because of the angle of observation here on Earth. Retrograde motion is an illusion similar to looking through the window of a moving train at a second train that is traveling alongside it but moving more slowly. The slower moving train will seem to be traveling backward, although in fact it is traveling forward. So in classic astrology, a retrograde planet was considered weak and is having negative influence, right? But modern astrologers consider retrograde planets in a chart to be positive, but as having an influence that does not manifest itself until later in life. So what that means for you, Geminis and Virgos, because Mercury is going retrograde tomorrow, is that if there are people that's like misunderstanding you, if there's some miscommunications, there's some problems with your cars, someone's just trying to get you to sign contracts or start new projects or whatever, you want to hold out on any of that. Signing projects, signing on for new projects, signing contracts. If there's miscommunications, again, continue vibrating at a high frequency. Let me offer you a special reading on today, because some wonderful things are happening for our Geminis and Virgos, as they are for all of the astrological signs. And a lot of people are on their transformative journey to a deeper spirituality, and flying at a higher frequency, that frequency being love, that's trumping hate, right? And so there's a lot of things that's going on right now, and I want to make sure that we continue at this higher frequency. And again, since Mercury affects Gemini and Virgo the most, that's why I'm offering this reading. Let's go. Okay, the cards that I'm using are the Mystic Monday cards. So let me go ahead. I just finished shuffling them. Okay, and again, this is for my Geminis and Virgos because Mercury affects you all the most. Let's see. Okay, so I do have a major arcana here. All right, so let's get started. Hopefully this resonates with all of you. And remember, these readings are timeless. So I want to make sure that if it doesn't resonate with you now, again, by the planets being in retrograde, these things are happening for you. They may just be happening at a slower pace, as I explained before. But I just want to make sure we just, we remain in a high vibrating frequency, in a positive headspace. So the first card that came out was this major arcana, which is the Temperance card. Okay, so the Temperance card is attached to Sagittarius energy, which is attached to Jupiter, and Jupiter is in retrograde right now, right? So we're going to put this to the side for just a second. Okay, the first card in the minor arcana appeared was the Ten of Swords for you all. This is telling me that a lot of you have been stabbed in the back, tossed under the bus, or thrown under the bus, betrayed by a lot of people close to you, Gemini and Virgo. Okay, this is specifically for you since Mercury is going retrograde tomorrow. Mercury is actually in Cancer starting today, but tomorrow it goes retrograde. Okay, so this is saying to me that you guys have been betrayed. You have been stabbed in the back, and it's caused you a great burden. This is the ten of wands here. This represents your fire energy, represents your journey to spirituality and action. This is your obligations and duties and responsibilities, right? And so this has caused you a lot of stress and strain. Okay, this is showing me that you've had challenges in your life. Okay, but you don't come out of, let me pull these back up. You don't come from being stabbed in the back like this by people close to you, who left you for dead. with all of this stress and strain, you don't come through it. See how relaxed this energy looks? And this is masculine, feminine energy. See how relaxed she looks here? She has her wand in her hand and she's standing up against these challenges. She's not afraid. She's, a matter of fact, she's relaxed. Because once someone has left you for dead, and once that has been a heavy burden on you, been there, done that. Okay? Been there, done that. All right? Matter of fact, because you've been there and done that, you've been triumphant. This is your transition period. Okay? Remember I said a lot of people are going through a lot of transitions, and what's important is to remain at a high frequency so that you can continue to elevate high above all of that. So what people don't realize when they do this to you, people that are close to you stab you in the back, what they don't realize is really that these swords that they use to stab you in the back actually serves to cutting them off from all the blessings that are coming your way. Okay? But this is advancement. This is transition. You're just going up, 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 and up. And see, we have more swords here. So as you go up, you are gaining more intellect and power. Again, this is for my Gemini and this is for my Virgo. Okay? Because Mercury is going retrograde tomorrow. Remember I said there could be some miscommunication, some misunderstanding. Don't allow people to bait you into situations and then turn around and stab you in the back. Okay? For you to be left for dead. Continue vibrating at a high frequency. You know that these same swords they're using to try to hurt you are actually going to be the same swords that's going to cut them off from your blessing. And matter of fact, you're going to be so blessed that there are going to be tons of temptations around you. Not only that, before we even get to the you being so blessed, it's going to be real tempting, especially, see these snakes down here? It's going to be real tempting not to pull these swords out of your back and stab them with it. But remember, they left you for dead. So this represents betrayal, backstabbing. It represents you feeling defeated at one point, like you just cannot believe that these people did this to you. And so the temptation is going to be real strong to get them back. You know why? Because once you've come out of this and that burden has been lifted, your third eye is open, you're healed, there's new beginnings, all of these things, but you still have these snakes right here. These are all represent temptation. Okay, let's pull another set of cards for you, Gemini and Virgo. Again, this is a special reading for my Gemini and Virgo since Mercury goes retrograde on tomorrow. It's in Cancer starting today, but it goes retrograde on tomorrow. And the signs that it affects the most is the Gemini, my Geminis and my Virgos. Okay, this card jumped out. As I'm shuffling, this card jumps out. So this is the Magician card. This is attached directly to Mercury. And of course, Mercury goes retrograde tomorrow. It represents intellect and power. You have infinite wisdom. Okay? You're no longer naive enough to turn your back on certain people. Because, look, your third eye is wide open. You're not just being fooled by phony smiles and fake well wishes. This is for my Geminis and my Virgos. You're no longer being fooled by that, okay? Your third eye is wide open. You don't come through something like this with all that burden on your back and responsibility without seeing it's like, okay, challenges, been there, done that, but I already have my wand that's going to just carry me through this. No problem. No big deal. Okay. But this is your toolbox, right? So what this represents and what this is telling me, what the universe is sharing with me about this in particular is that you have an infinite wisdom, okay, that you are able to tap into. So let's say you've heard the term before that the devil is crafty. And it presents things in a big red box with a ribbon on it. I mean, a big box with a red ribbon on it, looks real pretty, but they're empty promises, right? So, but this infinite wisdom, because you've already been through a lot of stuff, is what you tap into when other people try to come into your space and you're not really sure if they're going to be a betrayer. They're going to be that Judas for you. Okay. So that's what that is for. Most High God in the universe, give me some more information. And this is also a major arcana. That's, again, it's attached to the Gemini, which is attached to Mercury. Mercury goes retrograde tomorrow. So let's see. Let's see. All right. What else do we have here? Okay. Oh. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Another major arcana, the Fool. This is for you, represents new beginnings. This is the Fool in upright. This is an Aquarius card. Uranus is also in retrograde right now for the Aquarius, and that for the Aquarius is that's on the cusp. Saturn is in retrograde. It affects the Capricorn the most, but it also affects Aquarius on the cusp. But this is you, new beginnings for you, okay? I'm going to put this right here with all the major arcanas, and we're going to get back to that in just a second. But look at this, Princes of Pentacles, okay? This is your abundance. Pentacles represent the your coins, represents your journey to money and wealth, okay? So this is your abundance. You know, you came through this situation, Gemini and Virgo, a lot stronger and wiser. When I tell you that your third eye is open, it's no joke. You have been betrayed and stabbed in the back by people closest to you, which could have left you feeling like it was a death. But you got up. You got up. Look at you. You got up. From here, you got up. And it was a heavy burden for a while. But boy, oh boy, when you got it in your mind and your spirit that they should have never let you back up, because now it's on and popping, it's ready to happen, it's going to happen. Nope. Look, and then look, this is another major arcana. This is the Moon, okay, which is directly tied to the Cancer. Okay, remember I said that the Moon never goes retrograde, right? I'm gonna make sure I get this, like, I want you to see this right here. Okay. Yeah, I really want you to see this person. Okay, this is masculine, feminine energy, so it applies to, you know, masculine and feminine energy, not just feminine energy because you see long red hair. But this is a feeling of being surreal, like you see the mountains behind. Matter of fact, you're looking at the mountains behind you. It's just you're just kind of in a reflective state. You're looking at like your former self, a person who would have turned their backs on people that they believed, you know, to be a friend, believed to be a loved one, somebody who you loved as much as you thought they loved you, until they stabbed you in the back and put this heavy burden on you. But now you're just looking at your shadow self, like of who you used to be. Those mountains are behind you, far behind you. You have your money and everything. And look, here's your breakthrough. Yeah, you know, you've been through a lot. Let me put this other major arcana up here. Yeah, you've been through a lot. You know how to, you're more self-assured. You know the power of your sword. You know the power of your sword now. You know when to cut people off. Your third eye is open. I mean, wide open. You know exactly when to cut people off. Even the people that you would have thought, no, that person would never do anything to me. As the moment your intuition tells you, Virgo and Gemini, to cut the person off, you're going to cut them off without question. You know exactly how to use your sword. Exactly how to use your sword. And that's a powerful place to be in, because a lot of people walk around not listening to their intuition. I want to get in close. A lot of people walk around not paying attention to their intuition because they're like, oh, no, this person would never do this to me. This family member would never do this to me. I've known them ever since we were kids. They would never do this to me. Never, never, never. So you are in survival mode. You know, your interest is most important. So if that means that somebody were to come up to you who appear to be friendly and appear to be nice, and you don't care who they are, you've been here before. So you stay in survival mode so that you don't end up here again. And you know why? Because you don't ever want to go back to this again. You never ever want to go back to this again. So long and short of all of this, Gemini and Virgo, since Mercury is going retrograde tomorrow, when those miscommunication, those disagreements, people try to pull you into a low vibrating frequency, when people try to accuse you of certain things or try to slip a contract to you or try to get you to start working on some new things or whatever the case may be, wait it out. Continue to vibrate higher at a higher frequency, that frequency being love. Continue vibrating at a higher frequency because your third eye is wide open. Everything that you need to have this life of abundance depends on you being obedient to the Most High God, the universe, and your third eye being open. See, your third eye being open here, and you vibrating in love and knowing that there are new beginnings, you are completely healed. You have everything working in your favor. This snake cup at the bottom of here is so insignificant that you're not even going to allow that to even seep in anymore. Not anymore. It's just not going to happen. And so don't allow Mercury being in retrograde to don't allow it to trip you up, because people will try to drag you down to a lower frequency just to delay what you were promised. You know what you were promised, Virgo and Gemini, and all of those things are coming to you. So I want you to stay focused. I really want you to stay focused because there's a new beginning on the horizon. You are in a reflective state. You're looking at your old self, like all the things that you had to come through. But I'm telling you, in this season, and it's not just for you, Virgo and Gemini, but since we're talking about Mercury being or going retrograde tomorrow, in this season, a lot of people are cutting a lot of dead weight off. A lot of people are cutting off low vibrating energy. They don't want to have anything to do with it because they know the low vibrating energy is like an albatross around their neck. But for you, it's all good. You have abundance in your chart. You have actually cut off people who are low vibrating. Your life is in full balance. Anything that you need, look at this Magician card. You have it in your toolbox. I mean, you just don't lack. There's no lack at all in your cards. So I just felt it important to make sure that I tell you that to be mindful of those things that happen when Mercury goes retrograde. To be able to look out for those things so you can bypass those things like, oh, whoop, here comes a negative comment. Whoop, here comes a low vibrating person. Whoop, let me just get out of their way. Let me just move. You know, you don't need to stand there and argue with somebody who is bent on causing this kind of stress. Why? Smile, keep it moving. Like, oh, I know that I'm abundant. I know that I manifest wealth into my life. There's no way this person is going to delay anything for me. They're not going to cause any kind of delay because we know whatever karma we put out in the universe is going to come right back to us. And sometimes we don't know how it's going to come back. But that is what I have for you, Gemini and Virgo. OMG, I am so excited for you all. I'm telling you, keep that third eye open. Don't allow these planets in retrograde to trip you up and get into a low vibrating conversation or space with anyone who just, they don't even know why they're doing it. They don't even know about planets being in retrograde. They don't know how it affects them, but you do. All right, that's what I have for you. This again has been for my Gemini and Virgos, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. This is Queen Amun Ra coming to you with a special retrograde reading, specifically Mercury in retrograde. Thank you. Bye.